Hi, welcome back to my channel. You can see I've sprayed some blue all over this piece because it's a very large piece and it's bright white, so I wanted to give you something to look at. I'm showing you the head of the turtle because this is where I'm going to begin working. I'm going to be cutting out around the frisket paper, and always use a new blade, a sharp blade, when you do this because you don't want to be cutting into the metal of the composition panel, which is just an aluminum panel. So you'll see me change the blade out here. And then even though it looks like I'm applying a lot of pressure, I'm really not. I'm just lightly letting that blade glide on that tape. And then I'll be pulling the tape off and placing it off to the side in case I might need later. I'm going to go around it with a dowel, and what that is old paintbrush. I sharpened the end in a electric eraser, and it allows me a little bit of room to pick off that tape and pull it back. Plus, it leaves a little bright white line around your work when you're done. And the blue that I sprayed in the background, just so you know, that is the ocean that's going to be in there. I did clear coat that. I dust coated it and left it kind of what they call a dust coat, tack coat, fog coat. You know, we call it all kinds of different things. And it protects it from getting more scratches than what needs to be on it, because on a composition panel, illustration colors will scratch off very easy until they have cured. So here you see me coming in with a few drops of black and probably 20 to 25 drops of blue violet. And I have put my photo reference up here to look at because it's very important to keep looking at your photo reference. Sometimes you can get going and you forget to look, and then before you know it, you've put paint someplace it wasn't supposed to be. So I've got it taped up there. Keeps falling down, so I put a little more tape on it, and I'm just using a freehand stencil to go around the eye, but I'm mostly a freehand artist, so I'm going to start just using the airbrush and going in and painting. I am painting at a little less than 20 pounds pressure, probably 18. And here I've changed my camera so you can see off to the side. I just didn't like the way that it showed that you couldn't really see what I was doing. You just seeing my hands. So even though the turtle looks a little bit skewed, it's really not. It's just because you're looking at it at an angle. This is my Mars eraser that I use. The dowel will give you a very sharp look when you're pulling off the paint. The Mars eraser, if you lightly use circular motions, it takes off little bits of the paint at a time. If you use more pressure, it takes off more paint at a time. It just depends on how deep of a highlight you want, how sharp you want it to be. I'm using this mixture of black, and I'm spraying in the shadows and the dark spots and things first before I start adding in the color. And that's just something I chose to do on this piece. I don't always do it this way. I just felt like I needed to put the dark areas in first. Kind of would keep me from getting lost, I guess. So that's what I chose to do. I'm going back in and erasing out some highlights where overspray has gotten. And I kind of am, I try to angle my airbrush in a way that where the overspray actually works with the photo. It might be a little bit shaded in one area, so I'll angle my airbrush to blow that way. And then in another area, it looks like it won't be shaded, so I'll angle it up, down to each side. Once you learn your airbrush and learn how to use it properly, you will find out little ways to help yourself. I'm using my PS Creos airbrush 277. I love this airbrush. I also have a 270 and a 267. They all three spray with a 2.2 millimeter, or the PS 277 or the 77 one. It sprays with 18 millimeters. Sorry, equal to a watt of micron. This is also, I mean, you can't beat a Wada, but I don't know about this one. Is the best, closest you can get to a Wada, and it's about half the price. It took me a long time before I even tried this, but everybody was just saying, you gotta try it, you gotta try it. And I'm like, okay, I'll try it. Once I tried it, I'm like, oh, this is it. I'm not saying I'd never buy another Wada, because I've got a lot of Wadas too. I just, why spend the extra money when you can really get something that's precision for half? But of course, I guess to each his own. Once you find something you really like, you don't like to change around, but I don't think I'll try another airbrush, though. I could be wrong, but hey, not saying I'll never try one. If someone sends me one, yeah, I'm going to try it, but I don't know. Pretty happy with this. There you see I've sprayed some cerulean blue over the top of the head. Sorry I didn't get that on camera. I thought I had it on, I didn't. I will go back later and erase some highlights out with my Mars eraser. Here I am spraying some burnt sienna over the snout, and I'm going back in with my down and taking out some little highlights again. And then I'll spray again, take out more highlights, and then I will move on to burnt umber and spray in some darker areas. And if this really makes you feel like, oh my goodness, I could never do this, just start little. Don't pressure yourself. Don't try to rush. Take your time. Art is all about creating. You don't have to be done in one day. You don't have to be done in 2 days. Learning is a process, and it takes time. I know when I first began, I was like in my shop for probably 14 hours a day. And there I'm taking out some highlights where it just seemed it needed some. On the left side, you can see where the turtle's face is really bright over there in between these dark areas. So I will be doing some of that, taking that out, and we're coming into probably the end of this tutorial pretty soon after I scratch in some highlights down here. And I hope you stick with me. I hope you come back. I hope you like and share. I hope you tell everybody about my channel. Because I just started really not too long ago, and I should have been doing this all along years ago, but hey, I was busy actually working, so now I have more time, more freedom to do what I want to do. So Bye. See you later.